Said it. I'm not taking it back.
Kevin, you gonna buy a Beamer? How's it going?
Great.
You too.
Technically, I think that all finally worked this time. Oh, I got a bubble in the mouth. Oh, I didn't predict that. I didn't see that coming. Oh, how did I never predict that? Oh, crap. I wore my glasses so they wouldn't hit me in the eye. Good evening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Jay Ryan. The lady to my right over here is Nicole Ryan. This is Cars and Comedy in the Late Night Playset. We have a good one for you tonight. I say that a lot. I really, really mean it. Mr. Magnus Walker's here. And beyond just being here, tonight we're going to be talking about how you might be able to get involved with Mr. Magnus Walker, as well as Pikes Peak. We got the Peterson Museum. We've got all sorts of things to be talking about with him. He is the busiest man in the car community. He always has 100 things 100 things going on. He's got a southern drawl to him. I like how he always, see, you can't see him, but he's right off camera. So all the pressure's on. It's just no payback, no payoff. Is there anything else? Let's see. The Instagram audience is with us over here, and all the way up in Canada, we have Producer Mike. What is going on, Producer Mike? Say hello to everybody.
A greeting to you, a greeting to your girl, a greeting to Magnus, and a special greeting to the viewers out there.
The viewers out there.
That's right.
I like it. All right, I will bring the Instagram audience over here. Now, you guys will all have to let me know how this is working, because this is it's a new apparatus, but it's a really old apparatus, but I think it might work because I could just leave it over there. But what I need to do, still need this over here, don't I? Ah, gosh, it's not one thing. Oh, where the hell did this go? Oh, all right. It is Thursday. Good evening. Hello, I'm back at the desk here. Now we're actually doing a show. I told you about Nicole over here, the pretty girl to my right. It's Thursday, June 14th, 2022. And this weekend I'm going to be spending some time on Amazon looking for a new clamp for my desk mic here, because I believe that is the problem. And while it's humorous to some people, I'm not enjoying it. All right, I told you what day it is, right? Thursday, June 14th. I'm already sweating. It's like the first time he was here, only that was for completely different reasons. June 14th, 2022. Tradecraft Thursday. Our guest is Magnus Walker. Gosh, Pikes Peak is coming up. There's only a couple shows left before the official Pikes Peak hill climb. I'll just hold this year, and we're going to be talking about that as well as there's stuff going on at the Peterson. It's the Father's Day thing. I had the week off. I didn't have the week off. I was off a week last week when I did the TBT of the Father's Day Peterson parade we did. We got lucked into.
Right.
I was wrong. I thought somebody told me Father's Day was this way. Again, when your dad dies when you're a kid and you don't celebrate every year, you don't really look at the calendar for when it's coming. So somebody told me it was last week, and I guess it wasn't. So sorry for anybody who called their dad a week early based on my information. This week is indeed Father's Day. Okay. First of all, how are you doing? How's it going?
Fine.
I know. Good for you. Right through it, right? Too much last time?
What do you mean?
I thought, based on what you were saying last time, I thought you might have thought you talked too much about you last time, which I don't necessarily agree with. I
don't mind talking. I just don't need to be so emotional all the time.
Here.
I'm not really, and then I start talking to you, and I'm like Butterwork Sandal, and I can't do that.
Why does that happen? In the beginning of the show, all our guests used to cry here. Remember that? Even the guy who made Jerry Maguire, like, I'm not going to cry. Roy Firestone. Roy Firestone? Roy Firestone. Is that right? Okay. Anyway, he was here, and he made everybody cry. That was the whole thing. And then I made him cry. I mean, not on purpose, but why? Comedians cry here.
I think you're an intimidating presence.
Oh, don't say
and
that.
I'm madly in love with it. So, different strokes for different folks, man.
Okay. So you don't know?
I have ideas, and I just gave them.
All right. But, all right. Why I make other people cry doesn't make sense for
You're
you.
intimidating to other people.
Not those people. Not those people. No way. I think, if anything, it was because I was a very intent listening.
They're not used to that. I'm seeing it from this side now. I used to see it before from an insider or outsider perspective, and now
All right. I don't know what we're talking about anymore. Can I tell you what I was excited about, though, before all that? I'm really excited about this right here. Does anybody know what this is? Producer Mike, do you know what this is?
That's a car, Jay.
Oh, come on now. This was sent to us by viewer. Let's see if she's here already. By viewer Irene Hoffman, and she.
Irene Hoffman.
It's not
That's her cousin,
right?
Flo.
This is a friend of hers.
That's her cousin Flo.
Oh, her cousin. This is her cousin Flo. Is this?
Yeah.
That sounds like a. Sounds like a
Right?
euphemism. Sounds like a
It's
euphemism.
delightful. But it's the truth.
It's a beautiful
her cousin
car.
Flo.
And this was sent to us with the thought that this person wants to join us up at GVBC one day. That would be really, really
I believe
cool.
she wants to be a spiritual member of GVBC from Florida.
Oh, I see. A spiritual member. You mean like she won't actually drive
Well-
across country in that probably, but she's embodying the spirit. Is that right?
It's a hell of a commute, right? So,
Well, yeah, but
But
I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, you may not know this, but people come from all over the world.
yeah.
Not just to come to GVBC, but like they'll do,
It's a
U.S.
stop.
tours, and it'll be a stop on the U.S. tour on the West Coast. Yeah, so I mean, every single week there's somebody from like at least somewhere else in the country, but sometimes around the world.
Yeah.
Those two people the husband and wife who had twin GT3s, and they shipped their GT3s here to do a cross country. It wasn't even cross country. I think they went through Canada and Mexico too, right? They might have gone, I think, all continental. All continental. There's a better word for that, but, Anyway, that would be very, very cool. But congrats to Flo on the new, it looks like maybe is that a 718, I'm guessing there, or at least a Boxster of some sort. Very, very cool. And congrats to Irene.
is that a Boxster S?
Cousin with a Porsche. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I'm asking.
Okay. But I just asked you, so who are you asking? Are you asking
Oh,
me?
I'm sorry. Well, you're the Porsche guy, so I thought maybe you might know. I saw a Boxster S that looks very similar to
I feel
that.
like he's
I thought
not
maybe it
watching the
might
show.
be
Didn't I just? Am I? Maybe it's me who's off today.
No, I watched you do all that.
Okay. I feel like that happens with
Okay.
me and everybody, though, so could just be me.
It does. But
Oh,
no,
now
I
what's
know.
happening? I'm so thrilled that everything's working today. I mean, shy of my microphone just appearing on its own. You guys remember the other day it was its own mess. So anyway, I'm happy that that's better. By the way, producer Mike up there in Canada,
Yes,
Canada
sir.
Mike, sorry, whatever your name is. You had a new show drop, or a new one drops tomorrow? Well, you actually did both. What's going on with
Both.
the Letterman podcast?
Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. The show, The Postmortem, with author Scott Ryan, where we discussed the Julia Louis-Dreyfus episode, dropped. That was kind of a bonus episode, so we don't really announce those. They just come. Every Friday, we drop a new episode. So at midnight tonight, or midnight tomorrow morning, I suppose is correct, Irene Hoffman's episode drops, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, now wait a second. This is very timely. I didn't realize that. Then, so this beautiful new Porsche owner's cousin will be your guest on the Letterman podcast tomorrow.
Not the first show I produced, Jay. Totally intentional.
Ah, well done. Well done.
I'm just kidding. This is the first show that I produced.
Good one.
You know.
He's
check
good
this
at
out.
both. It's also, people don't know he's doing a lot of stuff over there. He's writing stuff down. I mean, he's got his own life as well, but even on this show, he's doing a lot of stuff over there. He's writing stuff down, and he's taking notes, and he's got to mute his mic. He's got to turn his mic on every time. By the way, if you're using the right mic, I don't think you have to do that. And don't let me tell you how to run your studio on your side, but logic dictates to me that you don't have to. That was only when that room tone was going on, and you could hear your granddaughter running in and out of the room while I was trying to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
But it's up to you.
Yeah.
Obviously, do whatever works best for you. I don't want to add more work to what you're already doing.
I appreciate it. Anything I can do to help.
Does anybody else ever do that? Sometimes you're trying to cause less work and you just cause more work for everybody. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have mentioned or said any of that stuff, and it would have been easier for everybody.
I do it all the time. I'd like to know that other people do it too, though.
Can't speak for everyone, but you gotta take her over here. All right, couple things to blow through real quick because Magnus is going to be in here. I told you that, and it's kind of fun because like you're going to find out how you might be able to get to be involved with Magnus. He's here to enlist your help. You, that's right. Oh, wait. And you. It's too much shit to do. But this is much more maneuverable than that big old iPad, isn't it? And then I've got the iPad here. Oh, I don't know how to do it, though. Oh, I got to join the live. I see the whole time. Here we go. Now I'm with everybody. I had to join the live. Now we're here. Ask a question. I should. What are you guys doing? There's a lot of people in here. It's great to see everyone. Thanks for being here. Touring Dad's here. Oh, I can share this. Oh, boy, this is good to know in the future. All right. All right, couple of East Coast feeds. We said, do you remember last, when we were here on Tuesday, we talked about the East Coast feed. They did the Ferris wheel, and then they came back and did the Ferris wheel with the mom, and everybody was scared. It was really awesome. Then we did the pub crawl, where we ran into Kaz's cousin, Jen.
Yep.
And that wasn't awkward at all. I'm just kidding. And now we have to follow up with, that was Friday, Saturday, and now Sunday. Okay? So, Carnival, then a heavy night of drinking, and now we're at Sunday at work at BMW at a car show. East Coast feed. Roll it out.
Listen, this is Ryan. Happy Sunday morning, East Coast feed. What do you do after a night of drinking and a bar crawl? You come to work a car show. Because that's what we do here. Fuck it. So yeah, there's lots of stuff happening. A lot of colorful cars, a lot of people. We've done this once or twice. You guys have seen on the East Coast feed, the BMW car show is happening. I'm trying to stay away from the music because it's fucking loud. You can see this beautiful orange Civic in the background. But all sorts of cool shit. Look at this thing right here. I'm passing by. Look at this. Wow. Cars, and also there's some Porsches. We got a Porsche section. I know you guys love the Porsche sections. We're going to turn it around for you. There we go. It's all that good stuff. Anyway, that's it. Love you guys. Bye.
Some other guy came in there. Did you see him try to get in there? Try to get in on the action. That was crazy.
The guy at the end.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
He's like, I love you. I love you. He looked like he was trying to do it a couple times, though, and kept zigging and zagging. All right, so he didn't look totally thrilled to be there. Let's check in just a little bit later, same day. Roll it out.
East Coast Feed Part 2. I hate these things, by the way, just so you're all aware. Every schmuck on the planet is lining Route 7 right now, telling people to shut the traction control off so they can be burned out. All the cops are ready to arrest them all. Watch, ready? Watch this, ready? Look at that, look at that. They're lining everywhere. There's fucking 1,000 people. and all they're doing is like trying to do burnouts and shit. It's obnoxious. Anyway, so this is kind of what's going on. If you guys want to see the stupidity of my job on a Sunday morning. Did I mention I was a little hungover from the whole bar crawl situation? Yeah. Can you hear it? Where are we going? This isn't like this is Route 7. Hello. Anyway, love you guys. East Coast feed. Peace out.
Yeah. That's my guy. That's my guy. I love you, Kaz, man. Love it. Love it. How you doing?
Fine.
Did we do everything? Oh, no. Gosh. All right. Let me get the phone book. And okay. All right. Here we go. Oh, I need this, too. Son of a gun. I really need a lot of stuff, don't I? All right. Yeah. Hang in there. We got this. All right. So, there's too much other stuff on that. Too many fake props to do the real thing. Now I know where everything goes. I can do this in the future. I'll riffle, you point. No, you riffle, I'll point. No, who riffles, who points? What the hell is this? Did you put this in here?
No.
I feel like Doc Brown. This is information about the future! Yep, do not open until 1985. Jay and Nicole. Well, how'd that get in there? This seems like a bit. This feels like a bit, but it's not a bit. I know I must have done this at some point, but I don't remember what it is. Come on, man. Just stay put. There's a whole moment happening here. Don't ruin it. Yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? This is actually beautiful. we don't want to do it here today on this show. I'll read this another day. This is an open letter to GVBC. It's absolutely beautiful. Entitled GVBC, What Did I Ever Do to Deserve This? Wow, this is beautiful. Okay, wow. Okay, took it down for a second, but in a very emotional way. We will do this next week on the show. How's that? Put it in the desk so I won't forget. Take it out of the phone book. All right, back to Rifflin' Point. Let's see if I can bring producer Mike in here so we're all on together. There we go. Producer Mike, you look like you're sitting on an apple box or something. Is there any way to angle your camera so you're up here with us? Oh, you're doing that because of your pictures. Never mind. You got your own thing going on over there.
I can try.
No. You do exactly. It just looked like you. It looks like every talk show. Didn't Andy Kaufman do a bit about it where the guest is like 5 feet lower than the host?
Yeah, I feel like little Timmy watching Uncle Jay at his show right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I got the Mrs. over here, and then the little Canadian Mike over here. Now, Canada Mike, if you're Canadian Mike or Canada Mike, you will then. It's weird how there's parallels with like Jay's in the U.S. and Mike's up there. The only Canadian talk show that I used to actually pay attention to and watch was Mike Bullard.
Mike Bullard, yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Is he still on?
No,
that was a long time ago.
That was. I liked Mike Bullard. It turns out there were a great many people who didn't like Mike Bullard. So I don't think.
Yeah,
he
I heard
lasted
that
long.
I heard that after the fact.
But I liked him.
I was never, I'm never in Canada or anything, but it would look like a Dave type of show. Like even the set was similar and stuff. You remember that?
Yeah. Well, one of the things I liked about late night was there was never any fear of there being silence in the studio, and Mike Bullard had that same thing. But at a different time, I think, if that makes any sense. And I don't think people were necessarily comfortable with that.
Interesting. I do know what you mean.
That's just my take.
No, I know what you mean. If the host is, it's like that's very Andy Kaufman as well. And I like it too. I don't mind when the room is uncomfortable because I thrive when everyone else is uncomfortable. It's like my cream rises to the top when everyone else can't work, when everyone else can't do their shit. Yeah. I'm really good in a crisis for the same reason. When everyone else is like, "Wah!" I'm like, everybody settle down. It's just this, and then this.
Yes.
All right.
I couldn't agree more. Yes.
It's time to do Rifflin' Point.
Say hi to Babs for me.
I will. Well, do you have anything you want to say?
Oh, just that I love her, of course.
Yeah, that's going to be part of it now, I guess, because I had to call back and remind. I forgot to say it. Do you have anything for tonight for either Jay or Jay, fucking me, Barbara or Dave?
I'm just cheering you on right now, and no, I'm all good. If you want to say Mike says hi, you could say Mike says hi because I
think
always,
maybe I'll say that all three of us are here.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, representing the Letterman Podcast Network.
That's
more
yes.
more to come on that in the future.
Absolutely.
Still can't say anything. But
No, not really.
But I think that if there were a date to pay attention to, it would probably be August 30th, right?
I think it would too.
That would be the date that I would pay attention to if there was something to pay attention to.
Yes.
Right.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Okay, well. Glad we're all on the same page there.
Hi, you've reached Barbara Gaines at the alleged Barbara Gaines show. Please leave a message.
Hi, Barbara. Barbara and I guess Dave too. Is it Barbara and Dave? Do we know who we're calling?
I don't know.
I'm going to treat it as though it's just Barbara. Hi, Barbara. Jay, Nicole, and Canadian Mike here in the Late Night Playset. We were calling to say hello more than anything else. Producer Mike wanted to get in on the love. I love you. The truth is, I've probably always loved you. I don't think this is actually new. I think I'm probably recognizing it just now, recently myself. But quite frankly, the riffle and point days were, it was an adolescent stage, and I was at that age, and I don't know. The riffle and point really got to me. Anyway, we love you. We love you, and we were curious. Love the podcast. Forgot to mention that. Jeez, just how do I forget to mention that? First thing, we're loving the podcast. You guys are doing great. We wanted to talk to you about your podcast on our podcast, obviously. We also wanted to know, are you hiring on your podcast? So, longest message ever from the Late Night Playset to the Barbara Gaines podcast. And if you don't have a permanent home for the Barbara Gaines podcast yet, we would love to offer you a slot over on the Letterman Podcast Network. So, give us a call, right?
Yeah.
She can't give us a call. We never give our information back. We just send these out into the ether and then assume she can find us. We're in the Late Night Playset, which is Cars and Comedy show. Boy, it's a terrible time to be in the middle of a rebrand. Anyway, we love you. We'll talk to you soon. 2-minute message for Barbara Gaines. So sorry. Oh, yeah, I got to hang everything up. That's right. The real phones and the props.
I think that went well.
Oh, I don't. I can never shut up. Every time, when I do something with nobody around and no red light on, I can say it succinctly in whatever I time it out to be. Oh, I need to do this in 15 seconds. No problem. I need to do this in 30 seconds. No problem. Whenever we're here on the damn show and she's next to me and I'm pushing buttons whenever else, this happens. He's looking up at the thing. He's being fun. He's doing a bit. All right.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I'm very happy for you, buddy, by the way. Oh, shit. Well, I guess I should tell you, too. As far as the Letterman podcast goes, I am piggybacking on all your best guests. I reached out to Tom Dreesen, and he's going to be here in July 12th. Letterman's other best friend, because of course you know that producer Canada Mike over there has proof that he's Letterman's best friend. So Tom Dreesen will be here in July, but also reached out to Eddie Brill, who comes up on this show all of the time, but somehow it never got to him that we are here, and that is. In my mind, I always thought, well, he knows who we are. Like, we would, you know what I mean? I think everybody thinks this. Like, oh, well, if they would reach out. The truth is, you got to reach out. Have the initiative. And it's a lesson I'm learning left and right. Anyway, Eddie Brill is, he'll probably do it. He's looking at what he asked me to send him some links of what we did, having never heard of us before. But I did. He then followed all of the show and the Late Night Playset and the Letterman podcast. He followed everything. So I'm sure that we'll be able to put that together. I think he was kind of just more like vetting us, like, can I see a link of what the hell this is? And I sent him Leno, Reggie Watts, and Adam Ferrara just because they were like in the easy comedy section.
I love that.
I don't think he'll say no, but who knows? And it would be great to get him in person, but who knows?
It'd be great to see him.
Yeah. All right, so that's what's going on. Do we do all the stuff? How's the weather? That's the whole thing. What you're watching, we've got new stuff, but we'll do that next week. Maybe that'll be a Tuesday thing from here on out. And I just don't want to waste any more time. I think it's time to do commercials real quick, and then we'll get our guest in here. They say, unless there's anything going on Instagram. Am I missing anything, Mike? I see I'm missing tons of things go by, but, like, is it anything that I should be... No, you'll
Everybody is joining in anticipation of Magnus Walker.
All right, cool. 2 more minutes, he'll be in here. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys are we talking about today, Mrs.?
Collector cars and fancy cars, nice cars.
Yeah, it could be
Any
anything.
cars.
Yeah,
Any
sure.
cars.
You could have a Yugo and
Any
shore it.
cars.
Absolutely, especially these days. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top provider, so you get the best coverage for your toys. Simply check out St. Clair Insurance by going to www.coverageforyourtoys.com. Coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
And tell Jeff St. Clair that Nicole said hello because...
I cannot.
Also, this episode has been brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Instead of reading this copy from Series 1 Films, I'm going to show you what they're all about. Taylor sent over a 30-second spot of something he just recorded up at Breakfast Club the other day. So, rolling it now. Hal, Series 1 Films. And while that was lovely and all, it was not the right one. So, again, roll it out for Series 1 Films. Sounded like a little bit of 70s sex there at the end. Was that just me? Did you hear that?
I heard it.
What the He's a riot. That guy is a character. All right, that's what's going on. Now, did I do it all? Here we go. Here. Alex Berman, Mike, looking up at Jay is great. Okay, good. Excellent. I put everything away. I think we're good here. Now, I know he likes to walk in, but I still need to do a break anyway. So listen to these quick words, real quick. From Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce.
Made by bears.
Oh, it's so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
To smash that like button, subscribe. We need some subbies. Come on, you can do it. Late night. Woo, good vibes.
What are you driving today? 63 356B. Hey, 111. What are you driving today?
Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David.
Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
You don't need to stick it. He's already got it. Thank you. My car's going to feel slow as balls after this, I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby.
We're ready.
I don't hear the drum roll. I don't see the smoke.
And with that, we are back for the walk-in. Mr. Magnus Walker, the urban outlaw himself. Come on in, buddy.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, he's been in the green room.
You know, I have to say, when you told me about the green room before, I was anti-green room.
You were very anti-green
I'm like,
room.
we don't need a green room, but I have to admit, I was just zoning out there, chilling, and then I saw the M&Ms. It's 4 colors, 4 flavors.
You get it.
I mean,
rock
it's
and roll, right?
it's so rock and roll.
And
I
then
mean,
we
it's
figured,
a little Wayne's World back there.
we figured depending on what their rider was, we'd do every color.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how many colors of M&Ms are they? I see you got 4.
Believe it or not, you cut out the orange and the brown.
All right.
That's what it ends
So you
up
got
being.
green, yellow, blue, red back there.
Yeah, I did the primaries.
Got
Because
primary
it goes
colours.
beautiful with the Felix Holst Urban
yeah.
Outlaw thing there.
Yeah.
So bring this to you whenever you're ready.
I mean,
and then we'll do a thing.
I thought we were ready. I thought we were live. I thought we were on.
All right, we're going.
on.
And now they can hear you better.
All righty, there you go. Rock and roll, rock and roll.
Welcome back, brother. How you been?
Good to be here.
Oh, I forgot about this. Here, let me
Oh, what is that? What's going on?
see,
Oh boy, dancing around. It's like you jug. There's a lot going on
too
here.
many things.
I mean, how many cameras now?
Well, I had to, as you know, I had to go rig up the green room at the same time. There's too many things going on.
I mean, I'm pretty excited. I have to say, I know I'm looking at late night Playset, but it's no longer late night Playset.
Well, we're in the late night Playset. It became a venue.
It's
the
a
late
venue,
night Playset
okay.
became a
venue.
And Cars and Comedy is the show. 'Cause
Cars
that's what
and
we
comedy.
do.
Well, that's funny. I mean, there's a lot of humor here.
There'll be more.
There is a lot of humor here, right?
We're all healing, so there's more and more comedy coming.
I get it. I have to tell you, I drove over here. I did my first ever, this is going to sound really obnoxious, but it's not, but I did my first ever Rolls Royce peace sign, and I got a wave back from a guy in a Bentley. It was
Really?
awesome, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Were they a similar age?
He was in like an 80s Bentley, 4-door, similar to the 75 Shadow that Baby and H and I drove over in, so...
But you have two now?
His and hers, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Sucker for punishment,
Yeah.
I finally got my own. I got a 69 2-door coupe.
Oh, that's
like
cool.
pre-Corniche, yeah.
So I was always taught that Bentleys you drive yourself and then Range Rovers to be driven. Rolls Royces to be driven in.
Yeah,
but then the coupe, you're supposed to drive the coupe.
I'm driving them all, whether it's got 2 doors or
I know
4
you
doors.
would.
Yeah.
But in the old days, I'm trying to think like the 2-door. I don't think of putting somebody in the back.
Well, Willow goes in the back. I mean, you got to think of Steve McQueen in I can't even remember the film now. It's just skipped me. With Faye Dunaway. Why can't I remember the film that Steve McQueen's driving the 67 2-door coupe?
I'm with you too.
You know who's going to nail me on this will be Joe Richardson because he has the 67 2-door coupe.
I can't do it either.
It's going to come to us later.
It's
but anyway,
he's a bounty hunter, right?
Gray popcorn
no,
gang?
no.
What is it?
Someone just put gray popcorn gang.
Great popcorn?
No.
No.
Oh, all right.
It'll come to me. For somehow I'm drawing a blank on the 67 Steve McQueen, the Getaway, Faye Dunaway, Steve McQueen.
It was the Getaway.
No, not the Getaway. No. It's the one where he's the cat thief burglar. Why can't I remember the name of the film? You got to Google that.
You hear that, Producer Mike?
Producer Mike, Google that. Steve McQueen, 67 film.
With Faye Dunaway.
Was it
Faye
the Thomas
Dunaway.
Crown Affair?
Thomas Crown Affair.
Oh, I would never.
That's where he drives the Doom buggy too. Thomas
never
Crown
would've
Affair.
gotten that.
It's a good job we got Mike in the background. Yeah, he drives a blue one. The one I've got is black. It was originally burgundy. It's a very funny story. Bought it sort of on a whim. Picked it up. It was down in sort of Orange County. It broke down on the 5 freeway driving back, overheated.
First time?
First time I'd driven it after I owned it.
Okay.
I went to pick it up. I'm driving it back home. It overheats on the freeway.
But did you test drive it at all, or did you just?
I test drove it before you on the test drive. It didn't overheat. Realized it needed brakes. I made a pseudo lowball offer. The car was sort of undervalued, and now we're going through the shakedown procedure. So procedure. Yeah. There's
technical.
Multiple things. The seat was too high. It's an electric seat. Seat wasn't getting power. Couldn't get to the motor. Solenoid was burnt out. So now I've actually got the seat lowered. And then we're just working through these gremlins.
So it's a power seat that was stuck in the up position.
Power seat that was stuck in the up position must have meant, possibly a shorter prior owner.
Possibly.
Yeah,
elderly,
no doubt.
Perhaps.
Yeah, elderly prior. It's like your typical Rolls Royce owner, that demographic, These vintage Rolls Royces are affordable, but they're not owned by people necessarily that drive up to Good Vibes on a Friday. It's a different demographic,
Does a Rolls Royce demo tinker?
No.
Are they going to be able to go fix the thing after it gets out of whack at elevation?
Here's the great thing about early Rolls Royce. You can take them to Charlie Agapoo, who you know from the Ford GT40, Ken Mal Shelby's crew chief guy. He's got the go-to place. But these vintage Rolls Royce, there's no computers, the carburetors. So, you just need a screwdriver and a hammer and a couple of wrenches and... For the most, there's a lot of things that are overly complicated on them. The brake systems, like the notorious one, have been overly complicated. The suspension's borrowed from the Citroen, so that's overly complicated. But sort of the engine and,
Is it the
that
bag
part
system?
of it.
Is that
yeah.
why? Oh, okay.
So, there's those issues I think can become, costly and time consuming to work through. But generally, sort of for the most part, an older demographic. It's a little bit like, I have to tell you, it's a little bit like where we were Saturday night at the Peterson. Now, I love the
right
Peterson.
into the Peterson.
We're into the Peterson.
Cannonball!
We're into the Peterson only on the rock and roll end of things because H and I have had a very rock and roll sort of 4 or 5 days. And, I'm normally not the type of guy that goes out. So Saturday night, we're over at the Peterson celebrating the 90th anniversary of the 32 Ford. It's National Hot Rod Day. Billy Gibbons is there.
Oh,
so Billy Gibbons is playing on the rooftop at the Peterson.
ZZ Top.
Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top.
But he's this desk, believe it or not.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, there's
I got to check that out. All right. It's Billy Gibbons solo with his backing band who's out of Vegas, who are really pretty cool. Of course, they're playing some ZZ Top songs. Billy Gibbons is there. He's awesome. But the average age of the crowd is probably 75, 80 years old. So it's an older demographic. Anyway, that was Saturday night, Billy Gibbons. Last night...
I mean, I liked ZZ Top, but I was young for their demographic.
No, you're talking 80s ZZ Top, MTV, Sharp Dressed Man.
Yeah.
She's got,
And
legs.
I'm thinking nowadays, is a lot of those people are not into hot rods, or why wouldn't it be a bigger crowd? I can't figure out why.
Well,
I guess he wasn't the draw. The show was the draw. He was a bonus.
yeah, I mean, he's got a great hot rod collection, but it's this whole era of the 32 Ford, it's celebrating 90 years old. To me, I don't think anyone under the age of 40 cares about a 32 Ford. As cool as they are, I don't think there's any reference point to it, right? No one of our era or younger, I don't think, had a 32 Ford poster on the wall. Unless you sort of grew up, watching American Graffiti or Happy Days, which is late 70s, early 70s, really. Mm-hmm. Just a different era.
Back to the 50s.
Yeah, throwing back to the 50s. But if you were watching that in the 70s, now, you're not a 40-year-old anymore.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a different age group demographic. As cool as those things are, it's a different era.
Yeah.
It is that 50s.
Yeah,
it seems to be.
And all collectibles go through that cycle, right? And cars, I guess, are not going to be any different. Where the people who are into them, their value is determined by the people who are into them and what they're willing to pay. And as the people who are into them and willing to pay a lot die off, all of a sudden, what used to be priceless is now priceless the other way.
Yeah, it's like worthless junk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but weirdly, I often talk about, and it's coming up quicker than we think, Pebble Beach, Concours d'Elegance, right? Monterey Car Week. And I always associate Pebble Beach with, Do Some Birds and Packards. And I'm like, who's into that, right? But they're still showing them on the lawn at the golf course. And, people are still spraying polish on them and waxing them down and stuff. So people, I guess, are still into those old clunkers.
Well, I mean, the people who own them are, right? Because they have to keep the value up. But you're right. I think what
I don't see youngsters driving Duesenbergs and Packards.
It's too much work. Driving a manual is too much work.
Well, I think that's part of it, right? Can the new generation drive a 3-pedal car?
You tell me. Most kids I know don't even want to drive at all,
right?
Let alone a manual.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the next 20 years.
Well, what do you think?
I think as long as you can still get oil and gasoline, people are still going to be tinkering around and driving up to Newcombs. I mean, I've said this a bunch of times. Look at Jay Leno. He's like the perfect example of a guy that's still maintaining a 1905 steam car, right? Mm-hmm. So he's figured a way to talk about prehistoric technology. He's still tinkering and running steam cars. So I think, for us, as long as we can get oil and gasoline, we're still going to be driving the cars that we own. I don't think they're going to disappear and end up in a landfill in the next 15, 20 years. It seems everything's accelerating really quick, but yeah, I don't see these internal combustion cars getting wiped off the face of the earth and getting dumped in the ocean.
I definitely agree with that. But I do want. I mean, you watch the climb lately has just been ridiculous with the used car market, new car market, period.
You follow that?
Everybody's always talking about it around me. I mean, when we used to buy stuff, I used to follow it. Now that we're not, I don't really give a shit.
You got to go buy yourself a cheap old Rolls Royce. It's still there. That's the
Just
affordability.
jump in.
I mean, you can pick them up in the teens.
But so once you get yours sorted, we'll jump to that. Once you get yours sorted, your Rolls, will it then be reliable and dependable? I mean,
Yeah,
you go around in Hannah's all the time.
Yeah, we
right?
drove Hannah's here today. So I think the key to those, like any old cars, you can't let them sit.
Okay.
Especially those.
You have so many cars, it will sit, right?
Well, I'm in the phase where the need for speed has sort of slowed down a bit in the sense of I enjoy driving my 2002 Chevy van. It's probably because we're restoring this house, but I'm always in the van. The van's one of those things that you're sort of incognito. I mean, and what I'm going to say makes no sense because when you drive the Rolls, you're not incognito. But when I'm driving the van, you're undercover. But what I like about the Rolls, and this is a vintage Rolls, no one looks at you like you're a douchebag like they might in a modern day Rolls.
Oh, yeah.
In a vintage Rolls, you look $1 million, but you can pick them up in the teens. And if you just give them some love and attention, they are reliable. But the thing I like about them is that the car sort of dictates the speed. You know, you can squeal tires at 25 miles an hour going around the corner. You don't want to go any faster than 80. You have to have a buffer gap in between because you don't necessarily
Plan your
stop
moves.
great. Yeah, you got to plan your moves in advance. This is how it is in the Rolls doing 65, 70. There's a bounce and a swing and a swagger. And I like that sort of sedated pace. You know, Willow can get in the back. She's super comfy. You know, she's not comfy in the back of a Porsche, you know, ripping up the crest. So it all depends where we're going really as to what we're driving. But I do find the little run that I'm doing a lot from downtown to Hollywood seems to be in those two cars. You know, we've gone to Home Depot and filled up the trunk of, you know, stuff in the Rolls. You know, it's surprisingly practical. So, you know, from that point of view, it's cool. You know, you don't actually see them that often.
Right.
It's sort of the era where they are still relatively easy to service. It's not like when they get to the 90s and early 2000s when they've got too much antiquated technology that just doesn't, you know, you can't really work around it. I was talking to Charlie the other day. He told me it was like happy to get rid of these Bentleys, and you know they were from the late 90s, early 2000s, and he'd like change the brake pads on them, which was easier. But he spent the next 3 hours trying to somehow figure out why this brake warning light was coming on, and he couldn't reset the computer because it's 25-year-old antiquated technology that just, you know, it's not like updating your iPhone. So I think Bentleys and Rollses of the late 90s, early 2000s have a lot of computer gremlins that aren't easy to reboot or fix. Namely, if you change your brake pads, why is the brake light still on? And, you know, you've done everything correct, but you got to reset the computer.
I feel like that's the era and not just Rolls specific, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, it's that antiquated technology which...
It was futuristic in that moment.
Back to the future, which kind of makes me think, hey, what are all the current crop of cars over the past 5 years that, you know, have got lots of computer technology on them? What are they going to be like in 15, 20 years?
Well, I wonder that every time I see one. The new GTI, whatever, you know, GTI is legendary, great driving car. The new one's got kind of swipe buttons on the steering wheel that if you're not used to it, like I just kept hitting them, and then it would do different things and then totally take me out.
You can't back to where you were.
Holy crap, yeah.
It's like, how do you turn the radio?
This used to be an analog experience, and I'm out.
Yeah, it's super annoying when you just want to, you know, put the window down, you got to swipe through a screen, or you want to...
the Ferrari's all like, you start the car that way these days.
Yeah, kind of annoying. I like analog stuff. You know, less is more for me. All these, you know, all these gadgets, unless, like, I will admit one of my favorite things in a modern sort of fancy car is a massaging seat.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're driving to Vegas or something and, you know.
The seat coolers and the massagers are great.
Yeah, that's about as far as I want to go with technology. I guess that's kind of a, you know, a baller thing.
I just find it's like the movie 2001, this damn thing. You know, the more it does, it's just a black screen, and you have to know how to use it. There's nothing intuitive anymore.
Right.
And when there was a couple buttons or whatever, the original iPad was really intuitive.
I never had one of those.
You could pick it up. Well, I actually didn't either, but I'm familiar with it. Okay. It was a wheel, and you could just move it around. I feel like we're approaching a place where if you don't have some preloaded information on how to operate this whole thing, you can't just get in a car and drive it anymore.
Right.
And that's something I'm not familiar with because, like you, I can get in any car, and drive it. What do we do with that?
That reminds me, you know, of the Ford GT40, you know, like Gen 1 and Gen 2, you just get in, pump the gas, turn the key, it fires up. The Gen 3 one, you had to go through a start procedure. You know, so you couldn't just get in and go.
Is that because race car, or is that because it's modern tech? And
I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Anyway, we're rambling.
Yeah, I like to learn too.
Yeah. I have to tell you, I spent part of my day painting today.
How's it going at the house? Let's go there. How's it going at the
Today
house?
is a big day of progress. You know, I was painting these columns, the plaster columns like rope. They're about 6 feet tall with these fancy sort of corbel tops to them. And
They're plaster, aren't they?
Yeah, the plaster.
Oh, okay.
And they were painted great. And I made the mistake for some reason of going to Home Depot and getting some Home Depot paint. And I'm painting them and it's just smearing. I'm like, first coat, second coat. And then finally I go, oh, why didn't I go to Sherwin-Williams, get that thicker, glossier paint, which just sort of, didn't
Just like
smear
the
and
commercial.
show brush strokes. So,
Yeah.
I painted them for the third time today. They're kind of tedious. They're like a rope swivel, and they've got this fancy corbel on top, and they're only 4 inch apart, and it's this impossible to reach areas where you're trying to get in. So I've got the long sort of painter's brush dabbing in there.
Can we discuss that they're also all over the place? Like, which ones are you doing? You're not doing all of them.
I'm doing the ones in the living room.
Okay.
And there's 4 of them through this arched doorway. So that's one of those projects, that really should have took about an hour. But like 4 days later, I'm probably 12 hours into it. So I've obviously got too much time on my hands. Today was a big day in the carport because we're doing this reclaimed brick sort of, it was all gravel and crappy and muddy and uneven
dirt,
and
yeah.
dirt. Like a dirt lot that had been gravelled but had never been leveled. And, it was just uneven. So, spent all week with this crew who's been leveling it, trenching it, digging it, and today was the concrete pour. Oh. So, there were 15 cubic yards of concrete that were poured literally within the past hour and a half. Because, we're only over the hill, so...
5 minutes away now.
Yeah, that's been happening. We're still not living in the house, but we did something that I've never done in 6 years of living in L.A. the other day. We walked to the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh.
From the house, it took 15 minutes. From the house to the bowl.
Yeah.
I'm talking inside the bowl.
Yeah.
I'm not talking Highland driveway up to the bowl. I'm talking inside the bowl where we saw Rod Stewart.
Magic.
That's fantastic.
So that's part 2 of my rock and roll week that started at the Peterson with Billy F. Gibbons on Saturday and then was Rod Stewart on Tuesday at the Hollywood Bowl. Wow. Which was pretty awesome with Cheap Trick opening up for him. So,
Cheap Trick?
Cheap Trick
No
opening
kidding.
up, yeah. They were kind of loose and sloppy. Rod was just on point, and it's amazing. He played for I guess we lasted an hour and 45 minutes. We must have left just right before he did the sort of final encore thing.
Did you walk home as well?
Walked home
Nice.
from the bowl. That was 15 minutes walking up there.
We walked home from the bowl once as well.
Oh, from here?
And it was 15 minutes as well.
15 from here.
Is that right? No, it was longer than that.
I would
Can't
think it'd be longer from here.
Can't be.
It wasn't.
But whatever it was not
was
long at all.
way closer than we thought.
They're messing around
She
with
used to-
parking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was since we lived here,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it was
I
only a few
used to
years
walk
ago.
that.
I would
Yeah.
say it's a 25-minute walk from here.
That probably sounds about
Yeah.
right. Whatever it was, we were
Yeah.
enjoying it. We
But
had gone
back to
some
Rod,
Dead
I
and
mean,
Company.
he's just got hit after hit after hit. That's unbelievable.
Well, he's been around
He's
forever.
77 years old.
He does not look it.
No, he doesn't.
And the performance, he didn't seem 77?
No, I mean, he's not running around, but his voice is great.
Wow.
It was cool, super cool. It was one of those Hollywood things. Like, I don't really, I think I've gone to the bowl twice before. I think the last time I saw the Gypsy Kings 25 years ago, somehow at the Hollywood Bowl. But, you can see the John Hanson Ford from there. You can see the cross on the hill.
Yeah.
I've lived downtown for 30 years, so even though I would go to Hollywood, I didn't have the accessibility of walking from the house to the Hollywood Bowl.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because you see all these people who are blocked in who literally can't get out of the car park, right? That's got to suck, right?
Factor that time in, or
Right.
that energy.
Like you're just ready to go and you're blocked in with 3 assholes who are drunk on the lawn somewhere.
Yes.
Or whatever it may be.
Yes.
They got stoned and they didn't remember where they parked the car scenario. right?
Yes.
That shit still happens.
We went to a Dead and Company show. It was like that. That's why we walked away. We couldn't figure out the Uber situation. We're like, this is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
So
Forget trying to get an Uber to pick you up at the
So
bowl.
we thought,
Come
we'll
on.
just walk a little bit and get as far enough away from this nonsense. And then once we passed that hotel and you go through that stupid little tunnel thing.
We went under the tunnel.
Yeah, and once you did that, we were like, I said, well, you know what that Coing, we can just, now that we're over here, we can just, it's not much further. And
Just
she was
hop
like, I
over
can do it.
Coing.
Yeah, we
Right.
did it. Ah, ridiculous.
So that's been my rock and roll week, really. Let me see what else.
How's it going at the house, though?
I actually wrote down some notes of things I'd talk about. How's it going at the house?
Well, because I went over when you first
Yeah.
took delivery of the house.
We've owned it a year. We're actually spending some nights there now. So it's like being bi-coastal in the same town. So, it's catch-22 because there's always something that you need that's downtown. Toothbrush or something that you forgot. Because, we're not moved in. So it's kind of like, you're staying in a hotel, but it's your house type of thing. And we're kind of roughing it a little bit, you know, like it needs a new fridge, but we're not ready to get a new fridge yet. So the fridge is not really cold. So it's things like that. You know, we didn't have a coffee maker, so we went and bought a coffee maker. So we're actually enjoying it. The more time we're spending there, the more we're vibing it out.
Yeah.
And what we've realized is the ideas that we had when we first bought it a year ago have changed and matured a little bit. So the fact that we didn't steam straight into it when we got it, because we couldn't find a contractor, has actually sort of fine-tuned our ideas of how we want to set it up.
Any artistic way, right? You
Yeah.
use the time to make the plan
To
even better.
absorb it and be in the space and vibe it out.
Yeah.
You know, you got to remember it's a 1925 Spanish house.
It's got a great energy.
Yeah, it's got a lot of
walking around the property, especially, just has a great energy.
Yeah.
I thought.
I mean, there's a lot going on there. You know, we've got the pond with the koi fish and the goldfish, and then we bought these sort of pond plants that were like sort of alfalfa sprouts. And the guy we bought them from said, you know what, they're gonna sort of duplicate and grow. And we said, okay, yeah, sounds a bit like a sales pitch. So we bought like a dozen of them that were floating around in the corner. But as the weather's got warm, like the other day, it was literally, these were like triffids taking over the pool. Like 2/3 of the pool were covered in these. I don't even know what they are. It's some sort of water lily thing that looks like an alfalfa sprout, but all of a sudden just took over the pond. So now we're pulling them out because we're learning that maybe
Now we're weeding.
Yeah, now we're weeding the pond. You know, there's not enough oxygen for the koi and the goldfish, and so yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. Spending a lot of time at the house, running a Home Depot. You know, there's like 100 steps. It's 5 stories up a hill.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of step work there.
That's one of the things that I think is so cool about it, though. I mean, you couldn't experience really any of it other than photos. It's all different levels and elevations, and I think that's
Sounds
part of
great.
what I really like about it. You feel like you're on Pirates of the Caribbean over there, or something.
Yeah, a little
you know?
bit. It's like an old sea ship, nothing square, plumb all level. You know, it's survived 100 years, hasn't fallen down the hill yet, so it's a little kooky.
And that it's probably shaken quite a bit with the people that have lived there
Oh,
or occupied it.
Yeah, it's got some, you know, like all Hollywood homes in the hills, there's always these folklore stories that may be true or may not be true, but yeah, it's one of those type of houses.
So you're really, really busy, really, really occupied, and you've got a ton of shit coming up.
Ton of shit coming up.
Is there anything, how can anybody help? What's going on?
Let me refer to my little list of, you know, we talked about the Bentley Wave.
No, but I mean,
Rod
do you want to
Stewart.
ask for help now, or do you want to put that out there, or?
Yeah, this could be like a public service announcement. You know, I think I'm finally ready to move on from being what I call the lone wolf of, you know, like the one-man operation. So I'm trying to figure out, we had this talk the other day, so you know the story, but I'm at the point where I need an assistant. I'd sort of gone from 10 years ago, serious clothing, 10, 12 employees, team behind me, and then things changed, and then I became this one-man army where I don't really have anyone helping me do anything. So now I'm at the point where I just want to keep making cool shit with cool people, but I feel I need, like, you know, the guy or the girl that can sort of figure stuff out for me. I just spending too much time at the house to actually get stuff together when it comes to, you know, trying to figure out, okay, how could I sell my buck on Amazon, for example?
Right.
And, you know, how do I reboot my merch line? I mean, I know how to do it, but yeah, I want to delegate.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure out the path of least resistance of trying to find help without going down the slippery slope of putting that on Craigslist and having
help wanted.
Yeah, you know, weed through 5 people that might email me and send me a reel and tell me how great they are, that type of thing. So yeah,
For the first week.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. You know,
we need somebody who's good week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
yeah, it needs to be compatibility. This is not someone who's going to come into the warehouse this is not a 9-to-5 job. It's someone that can work remotely, you know, helping me sort of put stuff together. I'm working on a few projects. I'm going to be doing this little YouTube show I can tell you about called OPP.
We can talk about this now?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
All right, I'm excited. All right.
I want to talk about it. You know, I've done
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Here it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm putting together this little project called OPP, Other People's Porsches, where it'll be everything from, you know, the 75 years of Porsche out there. Instead of just me driving my own cars, it'll be driving other people's cars and going down the slippery slope of driving some cool stuff. So it'll be everything from, I guess, a 356 to whatever the latest, greatest car is and everything in between.
Love it. Where's this going to be?
It's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to shoot the first episode next week, which actually is going to be a Porsche 959.
But will it be on your YouTube channel, or will this be...
This will be on my YouTube channel. I've had a
Very cool.
YouTube channel for like 10 years, but I've never really actively put much up there. Most of what I've done has been on other people's channels. It just gets reposted.
Yep.
Like The Big Thing or whatever appearances I've done on
Even
whoever.
your movie, even the Urban Outlaw movie, right? Wasn't
Yeah,
that
like-
somewhere else first?
Yeah,
and
the
then-
Urban Outlaw movie was never on my own channel originally. It's been bounced around a lot, and this year we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Urban Outlaw film.
Good Lord.
So that debuted. Tamir Moscovici.
Congratulations.
Well,
That's
thank you very much.
10 years.
We got to thank Tamir Moscovici,
Tamir,
the
yeah.
crazy Canadian. Yeah, that came out October 15th, 2012. So for the 10-year anniversary of that, I'm doing a pretty cool thing at the Peterson on October 15th, where it'll be a 10-year anniversary party, and that will kick off an exhibit of 10 of my customized Porsches that will be on display
Awesome.
at the Peterson Museum in their own sort of room exhibit hall for 3 or 4 months, which will then lead into what appears to be the 75th anniversary Porsche exhibit, which I think is a year-long exhibit, which will be kicking off sometime in 2023 at the Peterson.
Nice timing, mister.
Hey,
way to
timing's
plan
everything,
that
right?
one out 10 years ago. Gee
Yeah,
whiz.
who would have thought it, right? Yeah.
Mr. Long Game.
So I'm working on that. It's easy to go, okay, these are the 10 cars that'll be on display at the Peterson Museum, but then I got to figure, well, I got to tell more of the story, the relevance of the film, how it got there, some steps along the way, show a couple of the things that I've done that I'm super proud of, the Nike shoe, the Hot Wheels,
Heck yeah.
the book, a few of the other films that sort of tied into the past 10 years of the journey of what started with Tamir Moscovici's film Urban Outlaw.
The Hot Wheels thing is obviously big, but I guess because that's been going on for so long, maybe I don't really think of it. The shoe thing was ridiculous.
Yeah, so
The shoe thing was a worldwide cultural phenomenon.
it seemed to be, yeah. So, what I'm sort of planning is there'll be a little display case where it'll be things that are 277 related. Like I only ever did 2 original drawings of the Nike shoe, so I want to display those, the original samples, the original Hot Wheels. There's now 9 different versions of 277.
Right.
So I sort of want to display those. It's not going to be overly curated, but there will be like a sort of film component where things are streaming on a reel.
Yeah.
Obviously the Urban Outlaw documentary film will be one of those, potentially the TED Talk, and then a few other little sizzle bits of stuff that I've done in the past 10 years. So that's kind of, for me, something that I'm really excited about, because it's kind of, I feel like it's a big deal for me to have an exhibit of 10 of my cars.
It
Not
is.
just here's one in. And this is actually my own exhibition of my own cars at the Peterson Museum.
You should feel great about
So,
this. It's huge.
yeah, I'm pretty pumped about that. OPP, I'm pretty pumped about. I'm going to be...
Can we talk about Pikes Peak?
Yeah, I'm going to be there next week. I'm actually going to be out there with Mobile One. They've got the Fan Fest on the Friday night meet and greet, so I'm going to be out there doing a little book signing.
Big fans of Mobile One.
Yeah, you got to
Love
stay...
their product and their people.
You got to stay lubricated.
Yeah.
I've been doing stuff with Mobile One probably since 2014 at SEMAS. It's like a on and off again 8-year relationship. And I'm going to be creating a couple of shows for Mobile One, so I can talk about that.
Okay.
They'll be coming out later on this year.
Oh, that's not OPP. That's
Two different
things.
things.
Okay.
OPP
good.
is a thing I'm doing on my own, which will sort of be the opposite of what I've done up to this point. It's not going to be a big crew. It's not going to be an archival deep dive with fully orchestrated music and archival footage. I really enjoyed doing that stuff, but it just took a lot of time and energy. This is sort of a little bit, well, not a little bit. This is a lean, mean, stripped down version of, let's put a couple of GoPros on the car, go drive it, we'll talk about it.
I personally think this is going to do really, really
So
well.
I'm pretty excited.
Because of that, though. Because
Yeah.
it's not the other thing.
It's going to be more run and gun, more guerrilla stuff, which was sort of how a lot of the earlier stuff that I did separate of Urban Outlaw.
People want to see you drive.
Yeah.
They want to see you drive, and if you're talking while driving, they're going to love it.
So that's kind of the goal, the concept. It's kind of simplified. It's not this big deep dive. There won't be any, I don't feel any sort of VO. We recorded all the VO here for,
Yeah.
the
no,
big
it
thing.
definitely needs VO. That was going to be my only note.
Yeah, there'll be none of that, It'll be me and 2 GoPros. That'll be it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see how that goes. I'm going to shoot one next. I'm going to shoot 2 or 3 of them, and then I'll let you know when they're going to be up there.
I love it. And then, so the mobile one shows, that's something you'll come back and you'll tell us when it's time for that.
Yeah, the mobile one's something I've been working on for some time. It's a completely different format to OPP. It's nothing to do with the big thing. It's a different format to that. It's a show I've sort of wanted to do for the past 4 or 5 years. Just hadn't really found the partner to team up with. Because filming stuff, and it kind of becomes costly at the end of the day. And so someone sort of somehow has to, pay for that in a way. So I'm lucky to have teamed up with those guys. I'll see how that goes.
Awesome.
So I'm pretty excited about that. Looking forward to Pikes Peak. It's going to be interesting, the 100th running.
It's a big deal. And we know almost every single person who's freaking competing this year. I don't know who to root for. Whoever wins, I'm stoked.
I'm rooting for my buddy Cam Ingram.
Oh, I know. He did so well last year, his first time out.
I know.
But he's Team Zwart, so that's definitely the right camp.
Yeah, and Cam's got the right mentality of, he's out there for a month acclimatizing to the altitude before the event.
Right.
He's doing all the runs. He's
like Rocky. He does it like Rocky would.
Yeah, he's driving up the hill every day. Separate of the 3-day,
Yeah.
Pikes Peak seems crazy because, there's like 5 practice days before it from 5 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. And you never get to run apparently the whole hill. It's done in sections.
Yeah.
So, he's actually driving the course because it's seat time. So, even though he's not in the race car driving the course, he's really getting familiar with however many turns it is going up there.
Right.
So I'm rooting for my buddy Cam who... he's really motivated. I think you got to be 100% committed, motivated, dedicated in that zone, focused on one thing, the goal to get to the top of the hill in the least amount of time.
Well, that's why I think Cam's doing it right. I mean, if he's obsessed with this one thing right now. Yeah.
I mean, just the fact that he's there for a month getting acclimatized to the altitude and then driving that road every day, even if he's only doing 25, 30 miles an hour. You get familiar with where those turns are, reference points, road surface, all that stuff.
Reference points is
so
really
I think
big.
that's super key. Obviously, I think Ken Block's going to be pretty exciting to see what's going on with him in that car.
In the pink Pegasus?
Yeah, the Hooney
Pegasus. That's
Pegasus.
right. Hooney Pegasus.
Bit of a mouthful to pronounce.
The car's a mouthful. Holy crap. So underneath there is actually an air-cooled Porsche originally, right? That's what that was started from? I mean, it's not that now.
No, it's built on a tube-frame chassis.
Oh, it is?
With a GT3 twin-turbo 1,400 horsepower motor.
I was way off then. I didn't realize that was
No, it's not like they took a 992 sort of cup car and rebodied it and, doubled the horsepower.
Holy crap.
Which might have been easier. They sort of started from scratch for whatever reason. So it's going to be fun to see, how he rips up the hill.
Johnny Lieberman, first timer.
Yeah.
And obviously Zwart's going. On the Team Zwart, he's also got an Unser.
Yeah.
I can't remember which Unser, but one of the Unsers is going as well.
Yeah. And then Reese Millen seems to be really laying down some fast times up there.
Yep.
Pikes Peak's an odd thing. I'm not sure if you've ever been because it's not a great spectator event to watch because you're either at the start or you're stranded somewhere up the hill. And, if you're at the start, you get to see the pit and paddock, and you get to see the cars leave the start line and go 200 yards down the road before they turn. But that's it. That's all you get to see.
I'm not a big race spectator. Are you?
Yes and no. I mean, if it's a track where you can walk around, one of my favorite events, Long Beach Grand Prix, is so accessible.
I love it. I agree.
So that's such an Pikes Peak's the complete opposite of that. Like Pikes Peak, you're either up at the crack of dawn, halfway up the hill where you're stranded all day. And the coverage is spotty in the sense of you don't really know what's going on when, the sort of satellite feed from the helicopter seems to be, breaking up a lot of times due to the weather.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to follow. And as it's not technically a race, it's a race against the clock and the hill. It's not like people are lapping and passing, right? You don't see any of that. So from that
action.
That point of view, it's a bit of a tricky event to really know what's going on and who you're rooting for. But yeah, we're going to be there next. We will be there next week.
I'm really looking forward to it.
This is my 3rd time going there. It's weird. The altitude does sort of affect you. If you're at 14,000 feet, you do kind of get lightheaded.
Only done Mammoth, and I've skydived, and we were skydiving at 14,000 feet. That's where we would get out of the plane at the highest point.
Was that a tandem thing though?
A tandem,
Right,
both
yeah,
times,
I've
yeah.
done that.
But either way, though, I still couldn't breathe up there. I was still,
Lightheaded.
woozy. Yeah, absolutely. And I get that way at Mammoth, and that's 10 or 12,000 feet, something like that.
Newcomb's is like, halfway there. It seems.
Newcomb's what, about a mile high, right?
5,400 feet, right?
54 at the sign, I think.
Yeah, and when you get to Snow Summit, it's 7,080 or something.
Yeah, well, I think at the highest it's almost 8,000, but not quite, right?
Not quite.
Something like that. Or maybe Mount Baldy is 8,000.
Maybe Mount Baldy. When did you skydive?
I've done it twice. I did it once because an old girlfriend of mine thought I wanted to, so she got us Christmas. We're doing this. I was like, great. Fucking die with you. Awesome.
Well, you live to tell the tale.
And then, and it was fine. It was totally fine. But it was just hilarious. It was like, you don't know me at all. And then this one, before we got married, she wanted to go because I had already gone. So
Thrill seeker,
so then we went together to the same place I had gone previously because I knew everything. I was like, all right, come on with me. I know what to do.
Where'd you do it?
Skydive Elsinore.
Lake Elsinore.
At Paris, wherever that is.
I did it once outside of Vegas.
Ooh.
And the craziest bit was going up in the Cessna. I swear to God, this is a true story. The Cessna had fucking duct tape on it. I go,
What?
This seems kind of sketchy. It took about 20 minutes for the Cessna to get up to whatever the altitude was. And then just when you step out...
It is sketchy then.
and
You're not supposed to do a Cessna.
We were in a Cessna. And it was like, obviously no seats. You sat on the floor. It was like, is this... The Cessna flight up there was worse than the tandem skydive.
For sure.
It was just super sketchy.
How did you get out? A Cessna just has the little tiny door, right? You just got out the door?
Got out of that. Good Lord. Rocked forward and just went. And it
With
was
the
that
guy?
Yeah. And it was that bit when the guy's on your
We
back.
were in like a big twin otter, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
There were
No,
30 people in there. They had oxygen on the
30
thing.
people.
30, 40 people, maybe. That's probably 20 on each side, maybe
No,
40 people.
there were two of us.
And the thing climbs in no time. It just right up there like an elevator.
This was outside of Vegas. The Cessna, I swear to God, took about 15 minutes to get up to the altitude.
That's the worst.
Circling around.
That's all anticipation. I'm going, I don't like this. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to be able to
That's
make it.
exactly how it was. And then you step out on the wing and you're kind of rocking like this, and all of a sudden the guy just pushes you in this free fall, right? And there's no perception of speed.
Were you tandem?
Yeah,
Okay,
tandem.
all right.
Yeah, I'm not solo. So there's no perception of speed because you're not passing anything.
Correct. You don't feel like you're falling. People don't realize that.
No, it's like this
the
weird
wind hits
dream
you
bit.
too.
Yeah, but the craziest part was, they tell you before when they pull the shoe and it goes up, right?
Oh, that's the worst
And then, you're strapped in real tight, and then the guy releases his harness slightly so you can drop a little bit. Was yours like that?
No.
So he taps you on the back and goes, okay, we're going to loosen the tension on the harness and you will drop. And you drop about an inch.
But it's enough to be like, ah!
What happens if I fall through the harness is what's going through my mind.
What if it's more than an inch?
Yeah, it's like the seatbelt comes disconnected, right?
It's like popping the hood. It might fly open.
Exactly. So, it was this weird bit where the shoe pops and he taps me, and then I literally dropped like an inch, it seemed. That was the scariest part.
I would have.
And then after that, it was just like this sort of dream state. But the Cessna and the slightly relaxing of the harness, they were the sketchiest bit.
You went to a sketchy place.
Hey, it's Vegas, right? Come on.
That's funny. Vegas, baby.
Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
A Cessna I've never heard about before.
I do remember
that's
that.
a small plane.
Yeah. It was literally, there were two people in it. The pilot and then the, two people jumping.
I feel like it's like
so
some
it was four.
friend of somebody.
There were 5 people in it.
Totally.
And I just remember that night being completely mentally and emotionally drained.
Just exhausted.
Exhausted from this experience, because you're like, oh, what if something goes wrong? What if we land bad? What if I break my ankle? There's a lot of what ifs when you're parachuting.
What we went through, while obviously you're right, and obviously the everything's on the line. What we went through was more like going on Disneyland or something. Here, watch this videotape. Here, go over here, do your ground class. All right, go put the suit on. Okay, one thing to get your back. All the different little things that by the time you got in the plane to go up there, it was kind of like, finally, we're on the damn thing.
I remember taking a photo with a little camera that I put in my pocket. I'm thinking, I hope I don't drop the camera.
The second time I did it with my iPhone in my
pant.
I didn't wear the flight suit the second time because they said I didn't have to if I didn't want to, and I said, I don't want to, and I totally jumped out of the plane with my iPhone in my pocket, like an idiot.
Yeah.
number one rule you're not supposed to do, but I totally did. Can't believe I
Did
still
the
have
iPhone
it.
survive?
Yeah, nothing happened. Nothing at all. It wasn't until afterwards that I realized it.
This is life. Living on the edge. What else? Let me see what else I got on my list.
Sure, and I want to know how have you ever bungee jumped? Have you ever done any other death-defying
No.
or daredevil
never
stuff?
bungeed, no. Have you?
No, I've never done it. Oh no, that's not true. I did. But kinda. Action Park in New Jersey when I was a kid. It was a very short thing from a tower. But she really has bungee jumped off that bridge to nowhere.
Oh,
the one up in the forest.
Yeah.
And that was a big deal, right? Because that's like hundreds of feet.
That's a big deal. You have to hike like 5+ miles to get there.
A couple hours in.
Yeah, and then whoever dropped me, like, he had a whole weight idea in his head of everyone there, and like didn't trust any of us to give him our
Honest
real
weight?
weight. So he misappropriated all of our harnesses. So I went really, really close to the bridge with my head.
On the rebound.
On the way up.
Yeah, and I touched
You
it.
weren't
It's like,
sandbagging.
you're not supposed to be near the snow.
No.
I shouldn't touch it. So whatever.
Write your name and. Jesus.
That seems a little crazy.
But it sounds like you're
The Vegas.
plane ride.
Yeah.
It's like you're already there. Like
Maybe
We
not
didn't realize
OSHA
at the
approved.
time how sketchy it was. I mean, then you see these people jumping out of planes without the parachute, right? With the
No.
buddies, right? You've seen that,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
You know, where they just jump and fly down to
Yes.
the buddy who's got the parachute.
Who has the parachute?
And grab him.
That's
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah.
And then they do that thing where what happens when he pulls it and you don't have your buddy? Then there's
Yeah,
nobody else.
exactly. You are out of luck at that point. I've also been watching this guy on the gram, something Kingston. He's one of these guys that climbs, the Khalifa Tower in Dubai, just free climbs it.
There's somebody doing it right now, right?
Is it?
There was somebody doing one on the news yesterday, a 700-foot tower someplace, free climb, literally up the side of a glass
just
building.
nuts.
How is he doing it? Is it suction cups or something?
I don't know.
Well, what were you watching?
Slightly different thing, not the suction cup
Oh.
thing. This guy gets somehow through the service elevator to the top of the building, then he'll climb up whatever antenna, or a lot of times he's climbing cranes all the way to the end.
My palms start sweating when I
Yeah.
watch that guy.
And he's just
he's got the
hanging
selfie
out,
stick even
selfie
further.
stick, and he's hanging off, 200 stories up. Yeah, like climbing these buildings are nothing. The Empire State Building, these are nothing anymore. These are like little molehills.
Well, and then they're up there, and then they'll jump from one thing to the
Yeah,
other. It's
from
no
one
big
building
deal.
to the next.
The cranes are what get me. The
Yeah.
cranes, they go all the way out to the end, and then they get on top, and then they go to the flag or the beacon.
This is that type of dude.
Would you ever do anything like that?
No.
When I was a kid, we used to drive from Connecticut to Maryland, and you'd go over a couple suspension bridges. I would think about as a kid walking up the suspension bridge.
Yeah.
I get dizzy
Hey,
just
talking of
even thinking
bridges,
about it.
6th Street Bridge is due to open. Newsflash.
More breaking news. How soon?
Breaking news. Well, I was just alerted yesterday that there's a 2-day community opening ceremony, which at first makes it seem like the bridge is open. But when you read the fine print on the lacity.org website, it's a 2-day community event, like a street fair, on July, I think it's the weekend of July 9th and 10th.
Okay.
They've got a band playing, you can ride your bicycle over it, the mayor's going to be there. But the way it's worded is it does not appear, and living right next to it, that it's actually open for, cars to drive over it yet. But I'm pretty excited about that. I'm going to make a little recap film on the 6th Street Bridge.
Oh,
I made
yeah.
one like years ago in 2016.
I remember when it was closing.
Yeah, when it was closing. So this is the follow-up, which hopefully is going to happen.
You do another event?
I'm going to do an event.
Nice.
Do a little outlaw gathering around the bridge, and then do a little drive on the bridge. So I got all these things brewing in the background.
Supposedly it's not just a bridge anymore, right? There's like parks and different little areas where you can
it's
enter
pretty
and exit
cool.
the bridge.
There's like an urban park right next to where we are on the Arts District side. There's a whole sort of amphitheater skate park ramp on the east side by Anderson. There's a round sort of ramp that comes down from the bridge and drops down to the LA River on the east side by Anderson, which is this plaza area where I guess bands are going to play. There'll be events. There's a skate park there.
Oh, I don't know about.
And then
wow.
there's observation towers on it as well. It looks really pretty cool.
We used to rent a warehouse on Anderson all the time for locations. And
Okay,
stuff.
yeah.
And
the one near 4th Street or something?
I don't know. It was Anderson. It was right between the two
Okay.
bridges and the big dirt parking lot. Gone in 60 seconds. Remember they built the thing there for the whatever.
The thing
whole
for the thing. Yeah. It's a movie town, Hollywood. The thing for the thing.
Otto's garage in Gone in 60 Seconds
Was there.
was inside the warehouse,
Got
but
it.
the exterior was built in the parking lot
Got
next
it.
to the
Yeah,
warehouse. Okay. I always thought that was one of your properties.
Well, that actually sounds like the former Sun Chemical building that was on Santa Fe and the 6th Street Bridge, which now became a maintenance yard. But there's also one on Anderson.
Okay.
Which it could be one of those two.
Yeah, and I could be confusing the two.
Hey, they all look the same, those bridges. But yeah, big news. You know, they closed it in 2016. Sometime in 2022, it's going to open.
Seemed like it would be forever, and now here we are.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean, they're 2
Lot of
years
lights
behind
happened.
and hundreds of millions of dollars over budget, but, you know.
Yeah, but COVID sort of wiped that away. You know what I mean? We all lost 2 years. Everybody lost 2
Yeah,
years.
these guys were way behind before COVID, though. It was supposed to be done in 2020. And they had some structural problems. Apparently, the ground was sinking underneath one of the columns. I go, how could you not figure that out when you did your survey, right?
Also, the old bridge stood there for 100 years. What was
Yeah.
the fucking problem?
Exactly. I mean, the 4th Street Bridge is still there. So anyway, that's breaking news. So we've done Pikes Peak.
Oh yeah, no, you always have a ton of shit going on. And so, how do people, if they want to, if someone's genuinely qualified to be an assistant, somebody who might be able to be your right hand person?
I think
male,
they should
female,
contact
whatever.
you. You
Beautiful.
should screen them. You should do all that legwork.
You know what?
Screen them and then just give me like 3 to 5 people and say, check these guys out.
I'll absolutely do that if I can then share the assistant with you.
There you go. There you go.
So I need 1 day a week.
Yeah. To save me putting the ad on Craigslist, you know, really what I need is someone that, you know, can shoot, can film, can edit, can figure out how to, you know, sort of structure my life a little bit in the sense of getting stuff done that I don't have time to do because I'm painting columns at the house.
Yeah, just help them keep things on track.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot going on.
Like I got all those books, but yeah, you know, it'd be nice if someone could help me put them in a box and send them out. And then when that one person in, you know, Croatia or wherever it may be whose book got lost, this person can email that person and say, oh, we'll send you another book.
You don't have to call Magnus Walker directly.
It's logistics, so, you know.
Hello, Magnus Walker speaking. I mean, come on. Can you
that's what I
imagine?
mean. Yeah, I mean, you know, people are knocking on the door, you know. Travel is open back up. So what that means is, you know, people are turning up downtown, you know, knocking on the door. Can we come in? Love to see your cars.
Right.
You know, so
pop in.
Yeah. This person could, you know, help in that situation too.
Give the tours.
You know, exit through the gift store, something like that.
The Magnus Walker machine is expanding. I love it.
You know, it's just time for me to sort of move, like realize, yeah, you know, the one-man army thing was great for a certain period of time, but now,
You've also elevated. You've elevated to a different place now. You don't have to do everything yourself.
There's a lot of things I want to do that we've talked about that people say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And it's just, you know, I need some help, you know, putting these things together.
Yeah, and more time in the day, and maybe this can help with that.
Oh, yeah, there's only so many hours in the day. You know, we've got to do that podcast. Everyone keeps saying, why don't you do a podcast?
I know. You and everybody else.
Yeah. I mean, time will tell on that, right?
Yeah. I'm very excited about OPP right now. I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
I think OPP, you know, other people's Porsches. I'm down with OPP. So.
Yeah. What's your theme song going to be? I wonder.
Yeah, exactly. Time will tell on the theme song. You know, I could spin off to OPC, other people's cars.
Is there anything else?
I think that's plenty, right?
Yeah, it is. I just want to make sure
covered a
that I'm
lot of
not leaving it.
bases.
We left Hannah in the green room the whole time. She's probably taking a nap.
Green room. I mean, she's
watching.
watching live. I mean, if I'm asking for help, you know, we could do with someone who's good at ornamental wrought iron. So if anyone out there is listening knows how to make ornamental wrought iron balconies, kind of like Parisian New Orleans style,
beautiful,
that we can tear down those termite-infested 2x4s that are hanging off the side of the house.
Yeah.
I'm also looking for a wrought iron ornamental balcony guy.
That is going to look so good with the style of building that it is.
So that's kind of the big thing. We want to finish those balconies.
Oh, that's going to look great.
So wrought iron balcony guys, if anyone's out there.
So wait, the walk around, that's made of wood, so that stays wood. But the side isn't.
We're redoing all the balconies. So the bottom one's going to change, but the top two, one's going to wrap around.
Oh,
you know, right now they've just been MacGyvered 2x4s and 2x6s that are rotted out and termite damaged. So we've got to pull those out, do wrought iron ones. That means ripping the ceiling apart, tying them into the joists, and wrapping them around the side of the building.
Is it the living room side then? That'll go
living room and the bedroom side.
Oh, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So anyway,
so happy for you. That's awesome.
That's my main goal, is to find someone that can do ornamental wrought iron balconies. There's got to be someone in LA that does that, right?
Yeah,
or maybe
I don't know.
Riverside
LA
or
is-
Costa Mesa. Or
We'll find somebody.
got to find someone. Put the feelers out.
Tradesmen. The tradesmen are dying. The good craftsmen are all.
Yeah,
that's
where
what we were
are
talking
they all?
about before. No kids want to learn that art.
You know, it's like mechanics. Where are they all?
Same issue.
What are they tinkering with? Other than, old clunker Rolls
That'll be the
Royces.
name of your podcast. Hey, what are you tinkering with?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you to Mr. Magnus Walker. Give him a follow at Magnus Walker on all of the stuff.
Here we go. Blue
you're-
M&Ms.
You're plugging whatever you're plugging, right? I mean, it's all the stuff. Follow the Magnus
yeah.
Walker YouTube channel, although because we're going to start doing stuff with that again. So follow the YouTube channel.
Yeah, go to
Subscribe.
YouTube or that thing called Instagram. That's about it.
Click the bell. Let's see. Tomorrow, GVBC. Sunday is Father's Day. I'm reminding everyone at home.
You know what we've got to talk about? We forgot about it. Father's Day, the Beverly Hills Rodeo Drive Concord Bruce Meyer thing.
I had a great time with you last year.
Are you going on the show this year?
We weren't really invited last year. We sort of got.
This
lucked
one's
into
different,
it.
though. Last year was a drive from the Peterson to the City Hall. This is back to pre-COVID. It's like
the actual
car show on
where they
Rodeo
closed down.
Drive.
There you go.
From like Little Santa Monica to Wilshire. Different thing. No driving, more tire kicking.
Yeah, but you were still invited, right?
No, we haven't actually. No, we have not actually received an official invite.
Well, then maybe we will.
It's open to the public. I mean, I don't think you need an invite to walk down Rodeo or Rodeo Drive.
True.
Just happens to be a car show there on Father's Day.
Gotcha.
But for the record, we have not received an official invite. So anyone out there, there you go. We have not received an official invite.
We are going to be doing our show live from the Marconi Museum. Have you ever been down there?
No, tell me about
They're
that.
down in Orange County.
Yeah.
It's a very cool car museum, and we're going to be doing the show there September 3rd. But we're going to be there on Father's Day as well because they're doing a little Father's Day Cars and Coffee. So I think that's where we'll be.
See, I didn't get invited to that either.
I'm inviting you right now. We
I don't get invited to
either.
anything.
They
Come
put
on.
it on Instagram, But then we're going to do the show live there too. Reggie's going to do it with us,
that'd
and
be
we're
cool.
going to put extend out some invites.
So
to
how are you
all
going to
sorts of
move all this stuff down there?
people. We'll do something else there.
Okay.
This will stay here.
All right, got it.
Yep.
Got it.
We've been lining up a lot of things to have other things to bring there.
Logistically.
And then it'll be more of a show, less stuff.
All right. Well, sounds exciting. to
All
me.
this stuff is nice, but it's very heavy.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I mean?
get
It's a
it.
lot of fucking weight and things to think
Heavy
about.
metals, yeah.
Well, you know what it's like. It's nice to be just... We're heavy enough with what we have to deal with. To not have
Yeah.
to bring our desk would be nice.
I understand. Yeah, the desk looks pretty heavy to me.
All right, so that's what's
All right.
going on.
Good vibes.
Love everybody out there. And then next week, we're back here on Tuesday with Patrick Long.
Oh, that'll be great.
That's going to be a
Tune in
great
for
show.
that.
Yeah, first
That'll
time.
be a fast one.
I hope not. But that'll be the first time he's here.
I'm surprised
And then
he hasn't
Nicole...
been on before.
He was busy with racing all the time, and we were never able to get the schedule right.
Got
And then
it,
I
got
reached out now that he is officially retired
Got
as a
it, got
Porsche
it.
driver, and he said absolutely. He was always been a yes, but it
Yeah.
was just the timing. And then also next week, Nicole's haircut. So pay
You're getting a haircut?
Stay tuned for that. We're going to do it live on the show.
I'm pretty Tell me about the haircut.
Do it live
What
on
are you
the
doing?
show.
No idea.
You don't know?
No,
No,
tune in.
he's
Hold
doing
on. Who's cutting your hair?
I can't tell her. Somebody's coming in to do
Is
it.
a professional
Oh,
coming
yeah,
in to
yeah,
get
yeah.
your hair?
Professional's going to do it. They're going to do it over there.
So you're going to sit over there and you're going to let someone cut your hair and you have no idea
I'll
the
be
style.
sitting here with Patrick
Yeah.
Long or whatever, and then she'll be over there.
Yeah.
They'll do whatever she wants.
I have to. I used to love doing my hair and drying it
Yeah.
every fucking day. But, like, I'm over it. Like, I want to
Also, the
shave
heat
my
affects you,
head.
too.
Heat's bad, but, like, I physically can't wash my hair.
And the weight, you said you feel the weight of it.
Oh, I feel it. It's awful.
What are you leaning towards? Like a short, spiky cut? I mean, what are you thinking?
I mean,
A bob? What are we thinking here? Vidal Sassoon cut?
in my, like, do
Not
it
Vidal
as
Sassoon.
fast as possible. I'm, like, shaving my head. But I don't know I don't think I look good like that.
There's
so
only
I
one
don't
way
know.
to find out, right?
I think it's going to be whatever you've been doing, that kind of bob thing you do that looks so cute, unless you want something different.
I could see a bob, a little angular, choppy bob.
Whatever they
Or
did the
something
last couple
spiky.
times was really nice.
Are we throwing any color in it? Are we doing any bleach? No.
Nope.
She's saying no. You're looking
I'm into whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's good for transition and
Yeah.
catharsis.
This is happening
like
Tuesday.
guys growing a beard.
I'm excited about the haircut, I got to say.
Love that.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a haircut in like 45 years.
It's been a while. But do you remember the last one?
It literally has been, I'm not exaggerating, a minimum of 25, 30 years.
That's crazy.
I've had long hair since I was 15. I'm turning 55 in a couple of weeks, so that's 40 years.
Your Mr. Anniversary
I have
tonight.
less hair. Yeah, it's an anniversary year. It's going gray. I'm still holding on to it. I had a bunch of
Yeah,
paint
55.
in it.
I mean, I think you got amazing hair for 55 years old. It's
50
fantastic.
55
and
in a
beard. Your beard's
couple
still
of
very
weeks.
thick.
You know, I look at photos of my beard from a couple of years ago. It should be longer. I haven't cut
It was
the beard.
longer.
Yeah, the beard is getting shorter. I don't know what is going on.
Well,
It's
didn't you
split
have a
ends.
theory on this? Wasn't it? Was it the bath water? Or was it? You had a
I think
theory
the
about
theory
this.
might be the bath water, yeah.
Because you thought it was drying it out.
Yeah, and I think causing split ends and it breaks off. It grows, but the split ends don't allow it to get longer.
Right.
And I think this is terminal length, and then I see a photo from like 5 years ago. I go, no, it was down past my chest. So
Oh, I feel like you had belt buckle beard at
Yeah,
some point there.
well, it
Yeah,
was never
like
there,
the ZZ
but-
Top situation.
yeah, it has kind of shortened down.
Well,
and thinned out. You know, it's getting old, I guess.
Still look
but
good.
Billy Gibbons has got, you know, a pretty good looking beard.
You also look like you've lost some weight lately. Have you trimmed down? Was you working out in the house and all that shit?
Doing all those steps, I guess, is what it is.
All right, so that's it. All right, we said goodbye 15 times. We love everybody.
Yeah, we do.
Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for Tom Snyder.
See you later. All right.
Producer Mike up in Canada, we love you. Thank you, Instagram. We'll see you all out there.
Thomas
Next time.
Crown Affair.
That's right.
That's right. That went quick.
You're the best.